Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Herman Green. Exporters are complaining that there are still too many barriers in the export business. Deputy President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Richard Pandui, says it's a major deterrent for some business operators who have ambitions to sell their goods overseas. TVJ's Andrew Laidley tells us more.
Exports are increasing, largely due to an uptick in bauxite production. But other exports like food and manufactured goods are lagging. Deputy President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Richard Pandui, says that's because the industry is still plagued with challenges. He says the aim this Exporters Month is to get manufacturers to ramp up their export production.
The numbers are showing that we've been having an uptick in export, non-traditional export. Over last year, we've had an 80% growth. No, 38% growth. 80% though coming from the mineral and the crude sector. So when you distill it, we're still having export challenge. What we're trying to do this year is just basically come out again to our membership, come out to Jamaica, and re-emphasize that export is critical for the sustainability of our nation.
Mr. Pandoi says some manufacturers don't export because of the hassle they are forced to endure.
The cost of export is a real factor. It's cheaper to import than to export in this country. So we're trying to understand those costs so we can go to the government or to other stakeholders, customs, and have stakeholder engagement that will be of benefit to the country. We want to have a win-win situation. Many times, the feelings that people are acting for in a very selfish way for what we need. We believe for Jamaica's growth agenda, export has to happen, and there are impediments that we need to understand and get out of the way, get the bureaucracy out of the way.
The JMEA estimates that over 85% of input for local manufacturers is imported. Mr. Pandoi says that's why the manufacturing industry is vocal about the impact of the sliding Jamaican dollar against the U.S. currency.
Because we're so dependent on input outside, and because the issues around the dollar, for example, whether it's today, tomorrow, last year, 10 years from now, we have to match our earning with our expense, right? And therefore, we want to be exporting to earn foreign currency to offset that and minimize the impact on the business.
Jamaica's trade deficit, that's the difference between exports and imports, is currently at $4 billion US. The latest data from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica show that the island's dependence on fuel is the largest contributor to the widening trade deficit. Andrew Laidley, TVJ News.
T-Tech says the appreciation of the Jamaican dollar to the U.S. currency adversely affected its profit in the January to March quarter. That's because the company's billing is done in U.S. dollars. It ended the 3 months with $758,000 profit versus $6.7 million during the same period last year. T-Tech's revenue also declined 4.8% to $66.5 million. Now, currency trading ended today with the U.S. dollar selling for $136.49. The Canadian dollar closed at $101.72. The pound is selling for $178.05, while the euro is now going for $155.05. On the stock exchange, the JSE index lost 977 points today, while the junior market index gained 23 points. Among the winners were Mayberry Investments, Cygnus Credit Investments, USD Shares, Mayberry Jamaican Equities, Caribbean Producers, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company. On the losing side were Jetcon Corporation, Proven Investments USD Shares, Derrimon Trading, Sagicor Group, and Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances. And that's the Business Day. I'm Herman Green. Good evening.